Hey, what's up everybody? Graham here with another Royalty Fitness video, and today we're going to learn the cross, the two, your power hand. But before we get into that, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, that like button, share, comment, and let's get it in. So when you're throwing your power hand, the two, you want to make sure when you're in position, your boxing stance, you want to have that back shoulder behind you, right? You don't want to be squared off like this because when you throw, you're going to be losing a lot of power and you're going to put a lot of strain on your hip, okay? So let's get deeper into that. First want to start, you want to get in proper stance. And if you forgot how to get in your proper stance, refer to my other videos and don't forget to subscribe. So when you're in your boxing stance, you want to make sure that front shoulder is in front of you, right? You want to think of this as a shield, okay? And your power hand, whatever hand it may be, your dominant hand, is the spear, okay? So this is the shield to protect yourself, and that's the spear to throw and attack. So we're in our boxing stance, okay? Back shoulder is behind me. That line, that imaginary line that I always talk about, is right under us, okay? So when you throw your two, you want to pop your hip, turn your foot, and lock your shoulder, okay? And also, as I've turned my hip, my front shoulder is now back here, okay? So do it again, right? The reason why we want to turn our hip, turn our foot, is because that power comes from our hips. It generates all right here. You're sitting down on it, and when you throw, boom, all that power is generated from your hip to the end of your fist, okay? So that's why it's important to keep your front hand in front of you, because if I'm like this, if I'm squared up like this, my hips are now open, okay? So now I can't generate any power. And now when I throw, I'm going to overreach, it's gonna be sloppy, and I'm gonna have no power, okay? Completely unbalanced. So, right here, turn, okay? Right here, turn. So the first exercise we can do, helping to learn through your power hand, we can use the line. Old Faithful right here. I never give up on this, okay? Always. So you're gonna step over, get into your boxing stance. Now, if you refer to my other video, you remember practicing back and forth, right? Stepping forward and backward, okay? So before we get into that, you're in your boxing stance, back shoulder's behind you. You can use this line to help you. And as you throw, turning over. As you see, when I throw my punch, my hand and my line in the line right here are almost lined up perfectly, almost, okay? So you always want to have that good idea of where that punch is going to be at, okay? And if you see, as I'm punching, my head is now off the line of fire below me, okay? So right here, lock the shoulder, pop the hip, turn the foot, and that's stationary. Now, if you feel comfortable throwing it that way, you can start moving forward and backward, okay? So, forward, you want to step, nice in position, throw, okay? The thing with this exercise right here is practicing position. You want to make sure when you step, that next step you take has you in perfect position to want to throw that two. So now, going backwards. When we step backwards, we're going to step with our back foot first. That front foot is set. Turn. Step back with your back foot. Front foot is set. Turn. And make sure everything is lined up still, no matter where you go. Shoulder, hip, head off the line, and back to it. All right, so now once you have the idea of moving forward and backward, throwing your two, now you can start moving left and right. Again, as always, using the line. Step over, square up, now the line is going this way. So Step with my right foot, throw. Step with my left foot, throw. The biggest thing you want to keep in mind is that your feet are still maintaining that stance, right? No matter where you go, where you step, everything is lined up. My shoulders, my hips, my feet, my hands, my head, everything. Feels good, feels balanced, and I feel protected. Here are some ways we can practice working on that too, staying balanced and also throwing a powerful punch. So now you've practiced shadow boxing the two, moving around with a little bit. Now let's throw on the gloves and apply some pressure, okay? When you're throwing your two, you want to be kind of set on your back foot, right? So you can grab a tire, step your back foot into the tire, okay? Find your range, use your jab hand to find your range. You don't have to be all the way out here, but make sure you're close enough, okay? Because even if I was back here, see how I can't touch the bag? Boom, even when I throw my two, I can still touch the bag. But anyway, find some range, okay? Press down on that back foot, turn the hip, turn your foot, lock the shoulder, and let the punch go. And don't forget to also turn your shoulders as you throw your punch, okay? So when you're throwing that too, make sure we're not leaning out, right? Or we're not scooting our foot all the way to the edge of the tire. That's how you know you're reaching for it or you're too far or too closely into it, okay? So find a good placement inside the tire. Turn. Press down on that back foot. Your front foot should be like a kickstand, holding you in place, keeping you from going forward as you throw your punch. So give this a few rounds, and if you want to, make it more of a challenge for yourself, switch stances too. So now, if you want to get really technical in throwing that too and developing power in the hip, this right here, you can do anywhere, okay? So this is a personal favorite. Wall, we all got one. You're gonna square up against the wall, okay? You're gonna hold your dominant hand out against the wall. Make sure either your hand's flat or your knuckles are on the wall, okay? Or you can just fingertip it, but I prefer to have my knuckles right on the wall. So you're gonna sit here in your stance, and what you're gonna do, you're gonna make the motion as if you're throwing the two, right? Without no power behind it, just turn your hips, turn that foot, and lock that shoulder. This is good practice for developing muscle memory in those fast twitch muscles. Biggest thing is turning that foot and popping that hip out. That front foot, again, works like a kickstand. Keeps you balanced, keeps you in place, keeps you from lunging forward into the wall. And don't be afraid, after every time you throw, don't be afraid to restart your feet, because you want to make sure that punch is as perfect as possible every single time you throw it. So if you like this video, subscribe, like, share, comment, and also don't forget to head over to the camera girl, Shai Meraki's YouTube channel and subscribe as well for more content. And I'll see you guys next time.